Canto 23. Summary. Having momentarily gotten away from the evil claws, our travelers, separately, are both thinking of the same thing: how to escape this ditch and its ministers. The pilgrim voices this concern, and Virgil echoes it. Just as the devils appear ready to do them mischief, Virgil grabs Dante and they slide down together the side of the ridge into the sixth ditch, where they meet the hypocrites. They are called a painted people, signifying the nature of hypocrisy. They wear a physical representation of their sin as well, gold-colored robes made of lead on the inside. Their punishment is to slowly and sadly walk under the physical burden of their sin. Dante wants to know if there are any there of repute, and two friars overhear him speaking in his Tuscan dialect. They come over as quickly as they can, which is to say, not very. They are amazed to see him alive here, and question Dante as to who he is. The pilgrim obliges and returns the favor, questioning them. They are two friars, Catalano and Loderingo, who came from Bologna to Florence to serve as judges for a term. Each one representing a different political faction, Guelph Ghibelline. They were installed by Pope Clement IV in Florence with the stated purpose of bringing impartiality within the contentious city. Their hypocrisy is found in their efforts to violently suppress the Ghibelline party, leading to the exile of Ghibelline families in 1267. Dante begins to chastise them, but is brought up short, seeing a man crucified horizontally on the ground. This is Caiaphas, the high priest who organized the effort to put Jesus to death. The other hypocrites, as they walk in a circle around the ditch in their leaden robes, must step on him each time they pass. He, being naked, is offered no protection and feels the full weight of every step. Virgil marvels at this, for, of course, Caiaphas had not yet died when the Roman made his previous journey down to the bottom of hell. Virgil then asks the souls if there is another way down, as they cannot find the bridge. Catalano tells them that the bridge in this ditch was destroyed, but that up ahead is the ruin, a landslide that will lead them to the next ditch. Virgil is perplexed, as Evil Tale had said there was a bridge. Catalano reminds him that the devil is a liar and the father of lies. Virgil is irritated at having been deceived, and they go on their way. Canto 23. Hypocrites. Silent, alone, and without company, we walked on, one following the other, as friar miners walk along the way. The recent scuffle still fresh in my mind, my thinking had turned toward Aesop's fables, there where he speaks of the frog and the rat. For one cannot equate Mo and Isa, more than one can the fight and the fable if a keen mind pairs the open and close. And as thoughts burst from others, so was born from that one another thought after it, that made double my original fear. I was thinking, those evil claws were piqued by us because of the pain and the prank, such that I really believe they are vexed. If their wrath combines with their evil will, they will run after us, and more cruelly than the dog toward a hare that he yaps at. Soon I felt all my hairs standing on end from fear, so I stayed behind, listening, and said, "Master, if you don't hide yourself and me quickly, I dread the evil claws. I picture them already behind us, and imagine that I hear them coming." And he, "If I were made of leaden glass, your outward image I would not reflect more quickly than I see your inner one. Even now your thoughts mingle with my own, with a like bearing and like countenance, such that my one suggestion answers both. If this right bank declines such that we can descend from it down to the other ditch, we will escape from this imagined hunt." He had not yet finished laying out his plan when I saw them coming with wings outstretched, not that far away, wishing to fetch us. My leader suddenly grabbed hold of me, like the mother who is woken by cries and sees near to herself the burning flames, takes up her son and flees, and does not stop long enough to even find a nightgown, having more care for him than for herself. And from below the edge of that hard bank he slid down, supine, on that sloping stone that stops up the side of the other ditch. Water never coursed canal with such speed to set running the wheel of the land mill, when it approaches nearest to the blades, as did my master, delivering me down along that bank upon his own breast, not as a companion, but as a son. His feet had scarcely touched down on the bed of the bottom below when they arrived above us on the ridge, but fear had left, for high Providence, willing to place them as ministers of the fifth ditch, removes from them totally the power to leave. There below we found a painted people, walking, with very slow steps in a round, weeping, looking both tired and defeated. They wore cowls with hoods that were pulled down low in front of their eyes, fashioned in a style like those that are made for monks in Cluny, gilded on the outside, such that it blinds, but all lead within, and so heavy those Frederick forced on some would seem a straw. What a ponderous, eternal mantle! We turned, as was usual, to the left, with them listening to their sad weeping. Though, because of their burden, the people, exhausted, came so slowly, we were new companions with every swing of the hip. Therefore I told my leader, "Make sure to find someone known either by deed or name, as you move your eyes about while walking." And one who recognized my Tuscan words cried out to us from behind, "Stay your feet, you that indeed run through this sullen air. Perhaps you will have of me what you ask." Whence my leader turned to me and said, "Wait," and then, moving forward, follow his steps. I stopped, and saw two show great haste of soul in each of their faces to be with me, but their load and the narrow way slowed them. When they arrived, without speaking a word, they took me in with quite suspicious eyes. Then they each turned toward the other and said, "This one, by the throat's action, seems alive, and if they are dead, by what privilege do they go uncovered by the grave stole?" Then they said to me, "O Tuscan, who to this college of sad hypocrites has come, do not disdain to tell us who you are." And I to them, "I was born and brought up above the beautiful river Arno, by the grand town, and am with that body I have always had. But who are you both, whose great pain I see distilled on your cheeks, that wretchedness in you that flashes so?" One of them answered, "These orange-colored cowls are made of lead so heavy that their weight makes the balances that bear them to creak. We were jolly friars from Bologna. I was named Catalano, and this one Loderingo, chosen for your city together, where only one used to serve, to preserve its peace, and such was our rule that it is still seen near the Garlingo." "Oh, friars, you're evil!" So I began, but more I did not say, for my eyes saw one crucified on the earth with 3 stakes. Seeing me, he completely twisted himself, blowing out sighs through his beard. The friar Catalano, noticing this, told me, "The one nailed down whom you are gazing at counseled the Pharisees that they must make a martyr of one man for the people. Pinned crosswise, naked, to be trampled here as you can see, it is required he feels first the weight of whoever passes by. In such manner is his father-in-law in this trench, with the other counselors that did sow such wickedness for the Jews." Then I saw Virgil marveling above him that was stretched out so disgracefully on that cross, exiled for eternity. Then he lifted his voice to the friar, "Let it not be displeasing to tell us, if it is allowed, if some opening slopes to the right, whence we both could get down without forcing the black angels to come to this bottom and take us back," he said. "Not further than you hope. One approaches a rock that runs from the outer circle and crosses all the ferocious valleys, save that here it is wrecked and no cover. You will be able to mount the ruin where the side slopes and is heaped down below." My leader stayed a little, his head bent, then said, "He that hooks sinners here explained the business poorly." The friar replied, "I once heard the devil's many vices spoken of in Bologna. There I heard he is a liar, the father of lies." After that my leader moved with great strides, stirred a little with anger in his face, wherefore I parted from the burdened ones, keeping behind the prince of his dear souls.